Ferrari lost out massively in Baku this Sunday, suffering a disastrous double DNF, as their chances of beating Red Bull in either of the championships took a gigantic blow on the streets of Azerbaijan's capital. Red Bull added a commanding 1-2 to their arsenal this season, maximizing their points to the brim, whilst Ferrari failed to score any in what was the team's most dismal weekend in recent memory. And given the Ferrari team principal openly starting to suggest the championship is none of Ferrari's hopes this season, paired with Leclerc's increasing frustration with the team, and 4 Ferrari-powered cars suffering race-ending failures on Sunday alone, the Italian outfit's future is undeniably looking grim. Binotto recently started going around, leaving the impression on many that Ferrari have already given up on the prospect of the 2022 season, settling for race wins as a good enough benchmark for the year, not really thinking about the title despite being in the mix, as he decided to opt for a far more long-term outlook. "We set our objectives to be back competitive in 2022, Binotto revealed. So, our objective is to be competitive, not to win the championship, and it would be completely wrong to turn that into, let's try to win the championship because we're so competitive." Being competitive is one fact. Becoming world champion is another level of task, he admitted, suggesting Ferrari aren't too worried about the standings and are rather focused on leaving it all on track each weekend. But Leclerc didn't necessarily share his point of view, as he insisted he is still indeed eyeing his maiden championship trophy this season, despite not having many words of kindness for his team after his engine blowout in Baku. "I believe we can still win the championship, but we need to be on top of those things," Leclerc stated, just minutes after suffering his race-ending power unit issue, as he didn't hold back from letting his disappointment show. "Any DNF is hard, but this one is the third in a row. It's the third disappointment in a row, and it's not easy. After the last 3 races, I think we've shown that we've lost too many points and we need to look into this," he added, demanding Ferrari better turn their fortunes around in the limited time span before they hit the streets of Montreal next weekend. But Ferrari's worries didn't end with the works team either, as the 2 Scarlet Red cars were not the only Ferrari-powered cars being forced to retire prematurely. Both Haas and Alfa Romeo got served the same fate as the works team, with the 2 customer teams' Ferrari engines also shutting down mid-race to wreck their own results, further adding to the Maranello-based outfit's tally of issues. So, what exactly happened to Ferrari last time out? And are they definitely out of the championship hunt now? Carlos Sainz was the first of the 2 Ferraris to fail in Baku, with the Spaniard suffering a race-ending hydraulics issue on lap 9, forcing him to take the escape road and park his Ferrari in a manner that brought up the virtual safety car. Ferrari were displeased with the points loss, but decided to make amends for the situation by giving Leclerc a free pit stop, strategically putting him in the mix with the 2 untouchable Red Bulls, a gamble which was paying off remarkably, as Leclerc was catching up with the lead cars. But Leclerc quickly followed suit with Sainz, with his Ferrari power unit blowing out completely on lap 20 as a remarkable poach of white smoke coming off the back of Leclerc's Ferrari covered the streets of Baku, to secure Ferrari their first double DNF since the team's dismal home race at Monza back in 2020. After the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the standings took a sideway turn, as the once seemingly untouchable championship leader, Charles Leclerc, took the fall all the way to P3, with Perez stepping up to second in the standings. But a look at the Constructors' Championship is even more alarming, with Ferrari's 199 points amounting to just 38 more than third-placed Mercedes, in addition to their enormous 80-point deficit to leaders Red Bull, who are already sitting at a dominant 279 points. And given the team's recent track record, with Charles Leclerc being forced to retire from 2 out of the last 3 races, is the team getting worried about their engine's fragility? Certainly, it's a concern, admitted Binotto, before being asked about the next viable steps. "I think at first, we need to understand and analyze what happened today. Not all these issues are the same. Maybe some of these are a very quick fix, I don't know yet. Honestly, I think we need to take some time to analyze, to understand," he added. But it seems his wish of taking time to analyze won't really come to fruition, with just 5 days until the cars hit the track in Canada again. When asked directly whether Haas's and Alfa Romeo's engine issues were the same as those of Leclerc, Binotto suggested the problems could have been related in Magnussen's case, despite it seeming Charles suffered from a full engine blowout, with the other 2 cars simply overheating in the midst of Baku's soaring hot temperatures. I think maybe the retirement of Chu is not related to our supply components, but again, something to look at. Overall, whatever is happening there, it's always useful, added the Ferrari chief, suggesting he'll be looking at the engine data of the two customer teams. So, is Leclerc at all feeling the pressure? And what does he really think about the team's poor form? Shortly after his premature race finish in Baku, just as he admitted he's still hunting down that championship trophy, Leclerc confessed he's still upbeat about his chances in the next few races. Mentally, I'm confident that at the next race, I will be as strong as I was 5 races ago when I was leading the championship, and the motivation is still there. He made reference to his early season stint, convincingly taking the wins in Bahrain and Australia. But he reminded everyone that the team cost him loads of points just in the last 3 races alone, as he repetitively demanded the team look into the issue. After the last 3 races, I think we've shown that we've lost too many points, and we need to look into this. We need to get on top of those things. Reliability is something that we need to look into after the last 3 races. As a team, we need to make steps in that area, he added. It hurts again, but I'll never give up, Charles best summed up his thoughts in his post-race Instagram photo caption. It's funny how quickly the tables turn in Formula One. Ferrari seemed the clear championship favorite at the very beginning of the season, with Red Bull's car being notoriously quick and its poor reliability being seen as the team's biggest pitfall in the championship battle. Many suspected Red Bull would outperform Ferrari during multiple race weekends, but the general expectation was that Ferrari's consistency in actually finishing races would prove to be their main edge over their rivals, eventually gifting them their championship glory. Leclerc admitted he doesn't understand where the sudden turn of the tables came from, with Ferrari only developing the car for the better since the start of the season, but the results suggest otherwise. We've been fast, and we didn't have particularly big problems in the first part of the season. I think we have a bit more compared to the beginning of the season, but we didn't change massive things. If anything, we made the thing better, he concluded in a worrying manner. But as Red Bull took their 5th win on the bounce in Azerbaijan's capital, and both their drivers firing on all cylinders, meanwhile, Ferrari carrying their own streak of messing up Leclerc's race results for the 3rd time in a row, it seems the men in red have a long way to go if they are to fulfill Leclerc's maiden title hopes this season. But if it weren't already difficult enough for Leclerc, his latest engine blowout means he's quickly running short of power units, as he could run above the FIA set limit of 3 power units per season as early as Canada next time out, being forced to take a 10-point grid drop as yet another blow to his championship hopes. It seems there is nothing but roadblocks in the Monegasque's driver's road to the title, but his dedication and ability to find motivation despite the recent runnings is beyond admirable, and we personally hope Ferrari get on top of their issues as we want to see an inter-team battle for the big trophy. But we want to know what you guys think. Is it all over for Ferrari? Will they be able to bounce back? How do you see Binotto's comments about the championship not being Ferrari's aim? And which driver are you rooting for the most in this 3-way championship battle? Let us know in the comments down below. We've recently started a second channel called Front Row Lockout, where our sole aim is to keep you in pole position with all the latest stories from the F1 paddock with sub 3-minute long and value-packed videos. We would dearly appreciate your support by subscribing. Plus, there's an ongoing giveaway for all subscribers of the new channel, which you surely don't want to miss, as you can win prizes such as your favorite team's merch and much more.